Welcome back, thank you for joining me again. And today another problem with my Volvo V50 T5 all-wheel drive with only 30,000 kilometers or 24,000 miles. Let's listen to the noise. This awful noise is coming from the front of the car, and I came to a conclusion that it's the right front bearing that needs to be replaced. I did order two bearings brand new, just in case I'm wrong on my diagnosis here. This way I'm going to replace both front bearings and I'm going to sleep well. Since I don't have a special tool, I have to remove the strut assembly from the car, so we're gonna start disassembling everything, and I hope that you're gonna enjoy this repair video. Let's begin. The repair was not easy, took me quite a bit of time and effort, especially I'm doing two bearings and not just one. Everything needs to be disassembled here. I will be replacing the front brakes completely, which includes the rotors and brake pads, and I'll show you later the reason for that. And once removing the axle bolt, look at the oil coming out. Disgusting smell of this oil indicates a bearing failure, and it shouldn't leak like that. So looks like my diagnosis was correct. It is the right hand side bearing that went bad for some reason. Comment below if you have a suggestion why it went bad on such a low mileage Volvo, and why did it leak out.